Someone's excited. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Lorene HD. I am here with Devin, whom you've met in the previous episode, and Micheal, her boyfriend.
Hello.
Fiance! Oh my god! Fiance! So Micheal, do you want to introduce yourself? Sorry.
Sure. So hi, I'm Micheal Miller. I'm a men's life coach, as well as a actor, singer, author. I do all kinds of fun stuff. Really passionate about musical theater too.
So in the previous episode, we followed Devin throughout her, pre-romance, pre-couple state of mind, disclosure, and now, being engaged. I want to hear a little more about the couple, the story. How did you guys meet? How the romance started? At what point was Herpes part of the story, etc., etc.
So we met doing musical theater, community theater. We were doing a production of West Side Story, and there were two different casts, and we played the same character. So we both played a rat piece of jet.
Had you guys been in that situation before, where you're dating someone or you're seeing someone that you like, and you want to move further, and you have to disclose your herpes? And for you, you're dating someone, and they disclose to you that they have herpes.
Yes. So I disclosed once before, Micheal, and like I said before, it was an experience.
It was a thing.
It was a thing that happened. I would say that I just wasn't ready at that time, and that the person that I was disclosing wasn't the right person.
Yeah. So I had that happen one other time actually, that I had a woman disclose to me, and it was an interesting experience because I would say, as you said, sometimes I kind of like saw her as the disease, but it really just, for me, I was like, no, because there wasn't enough of a connection for me to actually like take that risk in my mind. For me with Devin, it was it was a no-brainer. It was an immediate, like, she told me, and she was very nervous telling me, but immediately when she said it, it didn't even faze me.
What did you feel like when she was like, okay, I have something to tell you? Like, what are the options that ran in your head? You're like, oh my god, she has a child, she's married,
There was something along those lines, because it was like the most dramatic thing you could have. And she would pause and I have something to tell you, and then she'd cry.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
I don't think it was that dramatic.
All right, whatever. I had no idea what it was. Like, it was out of nowhere. A huge amount of anxiety and stress. In my head, it was like, oh, she doesn't like me anymore.
So how did you guys manage intimacy before? Like, after Devin disclosed it, you said, okay, I still want to date you. You mentioned in the previous episode that you guys were consistently using condoms. For how long was that the option, and how did you guys sort of transition into a different approach?
From my point of view, that was the option until it became kind of clear that this was more of a life partnership than just a dating situation. And at that transition point, it was, okay, is this something that we want to be using the rest of our life, or do we actually want to try a different option or not use condoms? And the inherent risk in doing so.
Yeah. So
we were well aware of the choice that we were making, and the risk that was putting me in.
Were you on suppressive therapy?
I've actually only had the initial outbreak. I haven't had any since then.
Okay.
So when I spoke to my doctor about it, he said that the suppressive therapy wasn't necessary for me because I'd only had one in about a year and a half.
So since then, things have changed.
Right.
How so?
Well, Micheal's now herpes positive.
And we're engaged.
And we're engaged. More exciting.
Nice.
But yeah, so I contracted herpes also. So there's a mentality that I had about it going into it, and then we got it. But then that was sex. Oral changed after I got it, because then we went to sex therapy. And we actually talked to an expert and then made a decision about oral.
Interesting.
So we were actually like holding back on that, and something that we both really liked. So it was a huge like gap in the sexual relationship.
Okay. When you say sex therapist, do you mean like a doctor that is specialized in like STIs that can tell you this is safe, this is not safe, or sex therapist is more like the relationship, emotional part of sex?
Yes.
The
And also has an expertise in STDs and all that stuff too. It was just to sort out the initial emotions and like what we were going through, and you know, like I work with a coach and she works with coaches and therapists, and so we use outside support. It's not like a thing that we did once and then it's just like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
There's actually an ongoing conversation of
Support system.
growth and healing.
Would you recommend other people to do that? Super interesting.
Yeah, I wish we had done it sooner.
Okay.
I wish we had gone to this therapist sooner. But you know, I experienced a lot of shame around sex or talking about sex, and so it's been really beautiful, like having herpes in my life, because I actually talk about it now, and I'm like moving through some of this stuff. Like we had all kinds of questions that we couldn't answer, and you're looking online for the answers, and it's just like a mess of crap. And like how are you supposed to decipher all this shit? And so talking to her, it just like straightened so many things out in like one conversation.
It felt so much more simple.
Okay.
After that.
Were you guys always attending together?
Yeah, the whole experience has been like strengthening for the relationship, absolutely. And my experience of sex prior to this relationship is that you kind of talk about it, but you actually don't go that deep.
Yeah.
And in my experience of people in general is they don't go that deep into the conversation about sex. So I think it's something that everyone should do and remove the shame and guilt associated with it.
Yeah.
And our fears about it.
For other viewers who either have been in your situation and are experiencing some kind of like resistance to deal with it or embrace the current situation, or people who are considering being in a situation where, you know, they're in love with someone who has herpes and this is the risk, and how would you guide them, and what kind of advice from your own experience would you give them?
I would probably say a lot of very open and unfiltered communication with your partner, and then also seeking someone else to talk to, whether it be a therapist or a friend or someone where you can just work through all of your concerns and those sorts of things, and just hear other perspectives, so that you don't feel so like burdened and bogged down by your fears.
If it's for a couple where it's been transmitted from someone to someone else, definitely seeking outside support that is a professional, not just a friend, to have that intimate, vulnerable conversation that needs to be had. And just there's a lot of emotion that happens in that. So having like a safe space with somebody that handles that on a regular basis, super important.
Yeah.
Super normal. The one other thing that we're doing right now that I know we're both pretty adamant about is actually sharing it. So like not hiding it, like, and anytime that you have to like keep something hidden in the closet, like you're not going to be free.
Yeah.
So you gotta free yourself. For us as a couple, this is like the biggest thing that we've done together to share it so far. So this is liberating.
You guys, like, I don't need to say it, you guys seem very in love, very happily in love. You're about to get married, you're about to go do a trip around the world together. What is your advice to any couple out there?
You want me to go first? I got all kinds of advice.
Let me take my advice.
Let me just talk for 5 hours. Biggest advice, three things, I guess. So one is know what you want. So be really clear on that. We were both very clear we wanted to be in a life partnership. So if you're with someone that doesn't want to be, but you want to be, problem. Second one is honesty and transparency.
Yeah.
Third one is boundaries. So just being clear about your own personal boundaries and like bringing that into the relationship.
I think a lot of that has to do with like feeling safe in your partnership and being vulnerable, and knowing that you have someone who's going to be there to work through that stuff with you.
You guys worked through a lot of that relatively quickly. How long have you guys been dating for?
8 months.
8 months.
8 months. Like, this is, I'm mind blown. Like, it's phenomenal. Fantastic. Congrats, you guys. Seriously. If you guys guys have any questions or experiences or comments, please put them in the comments below. And if you want to either reach out to Micheal or Devin or me personally, I'm going to put all our information in the information below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye!